Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert's Report Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, we have the New Japan Pro Wrestling LoneStar Shootout review. Just got done watching that on Fight TV. We had 5 big matches on this card. There were 3 other matches that were announced. I believe those are going to be an episode of New Japan Strong, which is fine. There's one of those, actually I kind of want to see them all, but you know, definitely we'll check that out when it comes on there. But the 5 matches we had, first match we had Rocky Romero versus Ren Narita. Ren Narita is a recent graduate of the New Japan Dojo. He's been kind of on excursion in Rev Pro and in America on New Japan Strong and some other West Coast Pro Wrestling, some other wrestling companies in the U.S. What typically happens is once you graduate the dojo, you go on an excursion. So you'll basically go away from New Japan. You'll wrestle for other companies. You'll kind of build your resume up. And then you'll come back to New Japan, you know, within a couple of years. And then start your journey in New Japan, working like for the open weight titles, etc. This was a pretty good match because, and that's the thing, this kind of match, you kind of got to know some backstory here. Ren Narita was mentored by Rocky Romero in the dojo. So Rocky helped train him. And so these two matched off a few years ago. But since then, Ren Narita is graduated the dojo. He's gained experience. He's gotten bigger. Rocky's been Rocky the whole time. I thought it was a pretty decent match. Ren Narita got the victory. Ended up giving it 3 1/4. Next up, we had a standard 8-man tag. Again, if you're new to New Japan Pro Wrestling, they have a lot of those on their cards. 6, 8, 10-man tags. So we had an 8-man tag. We had Clark Connors, Karl Fredericks, Mascara, Dorada, Uemura, all teaming up versus FinJuice, David Finlay, Juice Robinson, Daniel Garcia, and Kevin Knight. Connors, Fredericks, Uemura, and Knight are all young lions. They all part of the Ren Narita class at the dojo. Karl Fredericks actually graduated, I think, a little before both of those. And so it's kind of a young lion, added Dorado and added Daniel Garcia. Again, they're kind of young lions themselves based on their career on Dorado. He was in New Japan, came to America, wrestled for WWE for a short time, and then now he's back wrestling for CMLL and New Japan Pro Wrestling. So it was a great just little 8-man tag. You had the guys doing the spots they needed to do. Each one of these different young lions, different wrestlers have certain their kind of high spots, like Dorada does. Uemura, more of a brawler. FinJuice, kind of a Juice Robinson, David Finlay, and then Daniel Garcia, we know him from AEW. Good little match. Connors, Fredericks, Dorada, and Uemura got the victory. I gave it 3 1/2. Next up, we had Minoru Suzuki versus Killer Kross. Minoru Suzuki, we've seen him on Bloodsport. I think we've seen him in a couple other shows this week so far. Just when he starts his strikes are just second to none. When he starts chopping, he gets everyone to hush and it just chops the holy hell out of somebody. Kross does the same thing, but Suzuki, when somebody chops him, he gets that little smirk. I said this up there in Bloodsport. I'm like, yeah, you see that smirk, you're like, oh hell. Yeah, you just fucked up, dude. But yeah, Suzuki, his strikes are just second to none. Killer Kross, great to see him back on the indies being himself again. I like the new look. Hopefully he goes back with Scarlett. And then they start doing something like they did in NXT, like they used to do in Impact Wrestling before he went there. So, but yeah, Suzuki ended up getting the victory here. I gave it 3 1/2. Good match. Next up, we had Jay White, his open challenge. Mike Bailey accepted it. Speedball Mike Bailey. Love everything he's doing right now. Jay White, leader of the Bullet Club. He's been on AEW, Impact, New Japan Strong, New Japan. This was kind of the tale of 2 different kind of, styles make fights, they say. These are 2 different styles. Mike Bailey, the high fly-in, he does the 450 knees. Jay White, more of the striking, will only kind of do the dives when he has to, more methodical in the way his moves are, And it's the two different styles that made a really great match to me. Seeing Jay White hit Bailey with everything he had, and Bailey kicking out, and vice versa. Bailey doing some big spots on the outside, and Jay White, not being able to get him down, but at the end, Jay White getting the victory. I give it 3 3/4. I loved it. Next up, the main event here, we had Chris Dickinson versus Tomohiro Ishii. It was great seeing the Dirty Daddy Chris Dickinson back from injury. 6 months, he was off. These two guys literally just, they're tanks. They just chopped and strikes and brawling. Ishii is just all about that. It's just almost the same guy, these two guys, and just watching them brawl it out. Ishii ended up getting the victory and ended up giving it 3.5. Now, there were 3 matches. Like I said, they were not on the card that were announced. I'm assuming they're going to be an episode of Strong coming up, either this week or next. It was the Bullet Club, Chris Bay, Hikuleo versus Stray Dog Army, Barrett Brown, and Bateman. 6-man tag of Alex Coughlin, Fred Rosser, DKC versus Team Felty, J.R. Kratos, Royce Isaac, and Tom Lawler, and then Jonah versus Blake Christian. Definitely want to see those matches. I'm a huge Blake Christian fan. I'll watch anything he does. Versus somebody like a Jonah that's going to be a really kind of, I would comparable, not exactly, but comparable to AJ Styles 04-ish versus Samoa Joe. Can't wait to see those on Strong coming up. But yeah, those were the 5 matches that was on this card. A little disappointing. Being a New Japan show, WrestleMania weekend, you would hope they would have some bigger names on it. This is pretty much just the group from NJPW Strong, which is fine. A lot of talent here, but definitely cannot wait till Windy City Riot. My boy Will Ospreay taking on John Moxley, and Mox come out and talk about that. We may be getting Suzuki versus Ishii, because at the end of the show, when Ishii pinned Dickinson, Suzuki came out on the ramp, came walking down the ramp like, "You want a piece of me? You want me, right? You right now, Started taking his jacket off. So like, okay, let's have that brawl. But Windy City Riot's next up. Can't wait to see that. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show. And don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader, sports town of content, right in the middle of watching Ring of Honor, Super Card of Honor. That review will be up when the show is over. Thanks for watching.